Most, if not all of us, have fallen victim to certain daily habits, some unconsciously happening, that cause us to gain weight or block our weight loss progress. It's important to identify these habits and make conscious action towards a healthier lifestyle. Today I will share 10 habits that are making us fat, with steps on how to change them with my experiences. I'm Jordan Biesinger, and in this channel I share my dad bod transformation. If you haven't already, please leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. So bad habit number 1 is simply not moving enough each day. Harvard Health recommends getting at least 30 minutes of dedicated physical exercise each day. Remember here, friends, that you do not need to be 100% perfect at this. Start where you're at and make small steps or strides along the way. I personally had many ups and downs, like a roller coaster on my 70-pound weight loss journey. It was extremely difficult and discouraging at times when I would hit plateaus or fall back into bad eating habits. It wasn't until I got into the habit of being active each day that I started to build more confidence and saw more consistent progress. For example, the first thing I did back when I was obese and trying to lose weight was simply parking further away at work in the parking lot. And at that point in time, I did not have the self-confidence to do anything more than that. So start where you're at. For me, it was just parking further away in the parking lot, so I had to get extra steps going into work and when I get off work. And it kind of shocked me, but after doing that for a while, I started to see more weight loss consistently, and that built my self-belief. So I took on another challenge that was slightly harder, taking the stairs each day instead of the elevator. And then once my body-mind was accustomed to that, I would take designated walks during my lunch period. So what I'm trying to say here is that it's these small actions and starting where you're at that can really help you be more active each day. Especially at the beginning, it doesn't have to be any crazy intense workout. The goal, however, should be to build self-belief and confidence to do more and more. So get moving. Now on to habit number 2, eating too quickly. So it takes approximately 20 minutes for the brain to send signals of feeling full. Something I want to highly recommend here is to be extra careful that you don't go too long without eating or get too hungry throughout the day. This is a mistake that I made early on when implementing intermittent fasting. Now I love intermittent fasting, and you can see other videos on my channel about it, but essentially don't go too long without eating or get too hungry throughout the day, or else you'll end up eating more than you anticipated. Just try to remind yourself while eating to slow it down and also get proper hydration. That leads into bad habit number 3, confusing hydration with hunger. For water consumption, Mayo Clinic recommends that men get about 15.5 cups of fluids a day. For women, 11.5 cups. The average person, however, only drinks 8 cups per day. This is not enough hydration, guys, and it's too easily overlooked. I was honestly quite surprised at how dehydrated I was when I first took on this challenge to increase my hydration. A huge tip that I highly recommend anyone is to get into the habit of frequently asking yourselves, am I thirsty? Instead of constantly asking, am I hungry, or what should I eat? There were many times where I just needed a drink of water, and that both energized me and made me feel full. The 4th habit to avoid is not controlling your environment. A plug-in for social eaters out there, we've got to do it either less or not do it at all. For example, you could set a limit on how many times you eat out with friends and family per month, or even down to per week. When looking at your environment, it's important to identify those things that are taking up your time or making you less productive. For example, the average person globally spends about 145 minutes a day on social media. Americans on average spend about 2 hours and 7 minutes daily on social media. Now when it comes to anything in life, it's good not to be too extreme. So you don't have to cut it out entirely or anything like that. Just make sure that you're putting your healthy priorities first. Okay, so quitting a bad habit actually takes replacing it with a new and more productive habit. For example, if you have the habit of having unhealthy foods in your environment that you easily and readily go to, you can change that habit by removing those non-nutritious foods in your environment and replacing it with more nutritious and healthy foods. But again, I keep mentioning this, but it's worth noting to not be too extreme. I personally have around 1 to 2 snacks that I leave in the home. This makes me feel better knowing that it's not gone entirely and that it's okay to have it in moderation. Habit number 5 that we should try to avoid is eating in front of a screen, otherwise known as mindless eating, and I think all of us have been guilty of this at some point or another. First off, I highly recommend getting a healthy alternative, such as air-popped popcorn with light butter. If you have to eat in front of a screen, this all goes back to your environment, right? Make sure you have healthy options, nutritious options available. And of course, make sure to stay up on that hydration. Number 6 is not getting enough Z's in, or sleep. According to the National Institutes of Health, the average adult sleeps less than 7 hours per night. Something that kind of annoys me, you could say, is all the talk about getting up super early in the morning, 4, 5, 6 a.m. Now, I'm not saying that's bad by any means, but I think that currently with our society, there should be more emphasis on getting to bed earlier at night. And yeah, it's hard hard to just go to sleep at 9 if you say, I'm gonna go to sleep at 9. Instead, you should have some sort of evening routine in place. It's crucial here to do things that you enjoy that help wind you down. For example, a huge thing that helps me calm down at night is just stretching and getting in some deep stretching, which releases tension in my body and my mind. And of course, during that evening routine, try to limit or avoid entirely the screens. And on to number 7, not taking enough you time. If we're not careful, the stresses of life will continue to add up and add up unless we take some needed me time. I was able to lose 70 plus pounds as a dad, full-time student, and full-time worker. If I can do it, you can certainly do it too. During that time, I was incredibly busy, and although it may sound selfish, but finding the time to go to the gym or work on you doesn't only help you, but really helps those around you too. It is not selfish. Also here, try to be flexible and compromise with the time that you do have. For example, I specifically looked at different gyms and found one that had a daycare, so that when I went to the gym, I could drop off my son and he could enjoy his time there as well. Now on to bad habit number 8, underestimating liquid calories. Okay, so anything liquid means that it's more digestible and it won't make you gain weight. Sorry, but false. This is just false. Too often we overlook how many liquid calories are really going into our daily caloric intake. This was a huge mistake I made frequently early on in my weight loss journey. Okay, so a 20-ounce Starbucks Frappuccino has 500 calories, and there's 290 calories in a large Coca-Cola from McDonald's. These calories add up so fast. I personally love consuming zero sugar beverages, but I try to have those in moderation, focus on water instead. Bad habit number 9, confusing fat-free with calorie-free. Remember that items labeled fat-free does not mean that they are calorie-free. Something I learned throughout my weight loss journey that shocked me was that low-fat peanut butter is actually not that good for you, because there are some fats that are really good for you. So instead of the fat-free or reduced fat version, I like the low sugar version. And bad habit number 10 is not giving yourself enough credit for the small wins or actions you take. I don't know about you, but for me, it's always been a challenge getting out of the all or nothing mentality when it comes to eating habits. I am still working on this. And for example, it's easy for me to think if I have a little bit of sweets that I ruined my entire day or diet. I might as well just eat whatever I want now and start again tomorrow. It truly takes time and patience, but I've taught myself to not look at the day as a whole success or failure, but instead do my best in each moment and remember the small wins. It's this mentality shift, and it gets easier with time. Instead of thinking I ate something so unhealthy, my diet is ruined, I try to think, what did I do good today? I ate nutritious food for the most part, and I exercised. And once you start focusing on those small wins, you'll notice that there are more and more of them throughout the day. Alright, that's a wrap for today's video. If you found this helpful, please leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this one to come shortly. Peace out.